Good day, it's Shireen. Happy Sunday. And today I'm going to be talking about advanced care planning and the role of the caregiver. Because the role of the caregiver is crucial, it's very vital to the whole process of advanced care planning. And they're the ones that are going to be making decisions, right? Taking care of family, friends, loved ones in their latter days, and all of that. So it's important that their interests are reviewed, right? And that we make sure that not only the clients are taken care of, but our caregivers are. So the benefits of advanced care planning for our caregivers is one, it helps to reduce some of that burden, right? Especially those emotional and psychological burdens, right? I've talked about it. The battle of the bedside, right? That term, right? Where we come down to someone's not being designated, right? Or say we know who the person is going to be, the default person is, but without the advanced planning that goes into it, it can be very emotionally and psychologically burdensome. Okay? It also improves communication, right? So having a plan improves communication between members of the family, other caregivers, who's going to care for the person, in the off time, give some respite to the main caregiver, right? And that ensuring that everyone in the family or care group are all on the same page when it comes to the preferences and values of the one that's being cared for. Next, we have it advances the quality, right? So anytime we have good communication, anytime that everyone is transparent and making sure we're not making these decisions while we're in crisis mode, right? The quality has to be better, right? So there's better time, there's better, ways that one can mull over whatever decisions that are being made, right? That everyone, and of course, the person that's being cared for has the best outcomes, right? And support with bereavement. Because as we know, caregiving oftentimes results in the one that's being cared for transitioning, right? Or being in some kind of long standing illness, and there is a grieving process that is involved with all of this, right? So advanced care planning can help the caregivers to cope better, right? It helps them to identify resources, right? Resources within their family, community, and even in places such as care homes that can offer some respite, having information regarding who's going to pay for this respite care, right? Understand the different types of insurances, even ahead of time for your own benefits way before you would even need it. Things like long-term care insurance, right? What does Medicaid and Medicare pay for? Okay, and how do you supplement that for yourself or your loved one before they actually need that? Okay, so we talked a little about respite, and respite care really is so beneficial for the caregiver because of those burdens that come with that. Imagine caring for someone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right? A lot of times caregivers suffer from their own health ailments, right? Their own care deficits because they are pouring into someone else. Rightfully so, they're doing it, for the right reasons. However, they need to be allotted some time to care for themselves. Okay? Medicaid does have some government funded programs that provide some financial assistance in certain states for respite care. And also under Medicare Part A, right? It may cover respite care if your loved one is receiving hospice under Medicare Part A. Okay, other things that you might research into is long-term benefit insurance. Was the individual a veteran, right? So there may be some benefits there. All right, nonprofit organizations, and of course, out of pocket, right? Just doing those researches, identifying the resources, identifying individuals that can assist you with this, identify who is going to be the one to provide respite care for yourself and your care partners is very important, okay? Because we don't want the caregiver to then start suffering their own neglect of health or lifestyle because they are so enveloped with caring for someone else. Okay, so today I'm just going to cover that very briefly. That was pretty much all, but we do have something called caregiver burnout. All right, and this is what I'm talking about. Identify those resources ahead of time, because when burnout comes, you're in a foggy state. You don't know how to think clearly, so it's important to plan ahead, identify resources, identify individuals, I can't say it enough, that can assist with this, okay? And going ahead and planning ahead also let you know who can't, right? Because it's important to have those conversations, the communication piece, right? Identify that, these people are okay, in the tertiary side, right? Out on the borders, they visit here and there, but they are not the people to call on to provide you with any steady handoff per se while caring for your loved ones. Okay, staying organized. Okay, last week when we did the live, I talking about identifying and making a care planning list, right? Having all of those documents secured in the same place, making sure that you're organized, right? Knowing that this is one less thing I'd have to worry about, because disorganization can make us kind of crazy, right? So it's important to have your documents in order. What do you need? Do you need a funeral home? All of those things that the caregiver must know, and the caregiver is dependent on to know, because they're the one that's going to be a proxy or speaking on behalf of the individual that is needing of care. Okay, so very good Sunday, guys. Okay, so let me know, is there any other topics you want to talk about? Is there something else that you have questions about that I might help with? As I said, if you don't know me, I'm Shireen Wilson. I'm an RN case manager. Been a nurse about 20 years in various settings, and I have a master's degree in nursing and case management.